commerce, media, and cricket today. The 1970s were the decade in which cricket was transformed. It was a time when a traditional game evolved to fit a changing world. If 1970 was notable for the exclusion of South Africa from international cricket, 1971 was a landmark year because the first one-day international was played between England and Australia in Melbourne. The enormous popularity of this shortened version of the game led to the first World Cup being successfully staged in 1975. Then, in 1977, even as cricket celebrated 100 years of test matches, Kerry Packer, a game changer. The game was changed forever, not by a player or cricket administrator, mind you, but by a businessman. Kerry Packer, an Australian television tycoon who saw the money-making potential of cricket as a televised sport, signed up 51 of the world's leading cricketers against the wishes of the national cricket boards, and for about 2 years staged unofficial tests and one-day internationals under the name of World Series Cricket. While Packer's circus, as it was then described, folded up after 2 years, the innovations he introduced during this time to make cricket more attractive to television audiences endured and changed the nature of the game. Changes made by Kerry Packer in cricket. Coloured dress, protective helmets, field restrictions, cricket under lights became a standard part of the post-Packer game. Crucially, Packer drove home the lesson that cricket was a marketable game which could generate huge revenues. Cricket boards became rich by selling television rights to television companies. Television channels made money by selling television spots to companies who were happy to pay large sums of money to air commercials for their products to cricket's captive television audience. Continuous television coverage made cricketers celebrities who, besides being paid better by the cricket boards, now made even larger sums of money by making commercials for a wide range of products from tyres to colas on television. Oh yes, we all have seen these advertisements, haven't we? Television coverage changed cricket. It expanded the audience for the game by beaming cricket into small towns and villages. It also broadened cricket's social base. Children who had never previously had the chance to watch international cricket because they lived outside the big cities where top-level cricket was played could now watch and learn by imitating their heroes. Globalization of cricket. The technology of satellite television and the worldwide reach of multinational television companies created a global market for cricket. Matches in Sydney could now be watched live in Surat. The simple fact shifted the balance of power in cricket. A process that had begun by the breakup of the British Empire was taken to its logical conclusion by globalization. Since India had the largest viewership for the game amongst the cricket-playing nations and the largest market in the cricketing world, the game's center of gravity shifted to South Asia. This shift was symbolized by the shifting of the ICC headquarters from London to tax-free Dubai. Discovery of cricket techniques. A more important sign that the center of gravity in cricket has shifted away from the old Anglo-Australian axis is that innovations in cricket technique in recent years have mainly come from the practice of subcontinental teams in countries like India, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. Pakistan has pioneered two great advances in bowling, the doosra and the reverse swing. Both skills were developed in response to subcontinental conditions. The doosra to counter aggressive batsmen with heavy modern bats who were threatening to make finger spin obsolete. Obsolete means no longer in use. And reverse swing to move the ball in on dusty, unresponsive wickets under clear skies. Initially, both innovations were greeted with great suspicion by countries like Britain and Australia, which saw them as an underhanded, illegal bending of the laws of cricket. In time, it came to be accepted that the laws of cricket could not continue to be framed for British or Australian conditions of play, and they became part of the technique of all bowlers everywhere in the world. Transformations in cricket history. See how the times have changed? 150 years ago, the first Indian cricketers, the Parsis, had to struggle to find an open space to play in. Today, the global marketplace has made Indian players the best paid, most famous cricketers in the game, men for whom the world is a stage. The history that brought about this transformation was made up of many smaller changes. The replacement of the gentlemanly amateurs by the paid professional. The triumph of the one-day game as it overshadowed Test cricket in terms of popularity, and the remarkable changes in global commerce and technology. The business of history is to make sense of change over time. In this chapter, we have followed the spread of a colonial sport through its history and tried to understand how it adapted to a post-colonial world. It was an interesting journey, was it not? Hockey, India's national game. Modern hockey evolved from traditional games once current in Britain. Amongst its sporting ancestors, hockey can count the Scottish game called shinty, the English and Welsh game called bandy, and Irish hurling. Hockey, like many other modern games, was introduced into India by the British Army in colonial times. The first hockey club in India was started in Calcutta in 1885 to 1886. India was represented in the hockey competition of the Olympic Games for the first time in 1928. Do you know? India reached the finals, defeating Austria, Belgium, Denmark and Switzerland. In the finals, India defeated Holland by 3 goals to 0. The brilliance and skill of players like the great Dhyan Chand brought India a string of Olympic gold medals. Between 1928 and 1956, India won gold medals in 6 consecutive Olympic Games. During this golden age of Indian dominance, India played 24 Olympic matches and won them all. Scored 178 goals at an average of 7.43 goals per match and conceded only 7 goals. The 2 other gold medals for India came in the 1964 Tokyo Olympics and the 1980 Moscow Olympics. Polo, a game from England. Polo was greatly favoured as a game suitable for military and athletic young men. Following one of the earliest games in England, a report in the Illustrated London News declared, "As an exercise for military men, this bold and graceful sport is likely to give increased dexterity in the use of the lance or sabre or other cavalry weapons, as well as a firmer seat in the saddle and a faculty of quickly turning to the right hand or to the left, which must be effective in the melee of battle." Polo was a game invented by colonial officials in India and soon gained great popularity. Unlike cricket, which came to India from Britain, other games like polo were exported from the colonies to Britain, changing the nature of sport in that country. From Illustrated London News, 20th July 1872.